thanks for the support as a channel member, Born to Play. How do you even know about that? You have access to information that I wasn't fully aware crossed over into the wider LOLLUJO universe. But you are right. I am going to be streaming here on YouTube this afternoon as we look to finish off the Chivas series, which it feels weird to hear you talking about Chivas. I feel like I'm in two-timing. Yeah, we're streaming from about 1 o'clock this afternoon here on the channel. Yes, of course the stream will be available as a replay immediately afterwards as well. I haven't streamed on YouTube for ages. It's going to be lots of fun. Hello and welcome to part 92 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final two Champions League group games of the year. I guess it is final two group games of the year. Hopefully not final two Champions League games. We're at home to Hertha Berlin and then away to CSKA Moscow. And as you'll know from the last episode, it's a pretty simple scenario where Liverpool have already qualified. We just have to win. As long as we win our games, we're all right. We're already guaranteed or close to guaranteed Europa League. And with CSKA Moscow now losing to Liverpool, a win here against Hertha, yeah, if we win the first game, we're through. Easy peasy. Told you it was easy. What has also been relatively easy, well, actually, that's not even true. We're making hard work of the league at the moment. 2 1-0s that we really scraped to. Yes, it was PAOK and Panathinaikos, so two of the better teams here in Greece. But we are making hard work of the league at the moment. We are playing a rotated team in the league currently, which is only 2 points behind runaway leaders Ike. So I guess I can't complain too much because once this Champions League stuff is done, we're going to have 10, 12 consecutive league games where we can play our first choice team until we get back to the Champions League again and get some of these boys some league games. Tennessee, for example, is having a little bit of a whinge that he's not started enough league games. At the time, he'd only started 2 league games, so he's played in the last 2. And there's quite a few of these players who haven't played anywhere near enough football this season. Solorzano, Laika, Michaelis, even Allen's only started 5 games all year, and the majority of them have been Champions League games. So there's lots of players who are going to get an opportunity in the league coming up very soon. But first part of the job is to make sure we get into the Champions League knockout rounds, and this is the team that is going to try and get us there. We've got Tennessee in goal, a back four of Kansarovic, Criado, Hernandez, who, by the way, is now homegrown at club. Only 20 years old, classed as homegrown at club and in nation. Doesn't help us with the non-EU players rule. That's a different rule. So that is useful for the Champions League because he counts as a homegrown player in the Champions League, which is a big deal. That's hugely useful. But he's still many years away from being classed as a Greek or European national for the league. So he's still going to be difficult to fit into the league squad, but Champions League-wise, Hernandez is now an Apollon boy. And we've got Solorzano in at right back, Milo at the base of the midfield, Dominguez and Duffy ahead of him, Alan, Carnevali and Lensina are the front 3. I feel like you could pick this 11. You know this is my 11 now. You might argue Bruno Rafael maybe ahead of Kansarovic. You might argue drop one of those 2 and get Sanchez in. I don't think there's much else you could argue with on this team to try and tell me who the better players are. I'm sure I've been on YouTube for a while. I'm sure some of you will find something to argue about, but I think we can all agree this is probably our best 11. The question mark is probably over whether it's the most appropriate tactic for the squad that we've got, because Laika is going to be a superstar. He's been injured for the first part of this season. He is now natural in central midfield. So I'm hoping this run of league games now without the Champions League in the way is going to be a real opportunity for him to make that Mazzala role his own. But I can understand why this calls for us to switch to a 4-2-3-1 when we've got one of the hottest young attacking midfielders in European football sat on our bench. I get it. I do get it. It's just 4-2-3-1. I just don't think it's as effective as this 4-3-3. Duffy with the cross. It ends up with Lensina. Solorzano from range. And that is an absolute beauty. And it's 1-0 to Apollon. And as things stand, that will be enough, I think. If my maths is right, that would be enough for us to qualify. We'll double check on the little league table in a second once it updates. This is good work from Duffy on the left-hand side. Lovely little nod down from Dominguez. Lensina plays it back to Solorzano. Arrives late, hits it first time. Boom. 1-0. And there's your confirmation. If it finishes as it is, we do qualify with a game to spare and could end up going through on 12 points, which will be one of our best performances in a Champions League group stage ever. Despite the disappointment of the Liverpool game yesterday, I do feel like Liverpool have got to be strong favourites for the entire tournament, the way they've been playing. They were a challenge, and I guess the good thing about them being in our group means we won't get them in the first knockout round, which will be nice. What a finish from Ryan Allen. I tell you what, this boy, he's only started 5 games. This is his 6th start of the season. That's his 11th goal. And he started most of those games out on the wing. He's had so few opportunities to actually play in his own position as a striker, and he just bangs goals in for fun. I think sooner or later I have to bite the bullet and accept that Ryan Allen is my striker. We need to get Sanchez back in the team on the left, and Carnevale's just going to have to be first reserve for the entire front 3. We move Acosta on. I think that's probably a plan for either January or maybe we wait until the summer to do it, and not wait until the summer to start Allen regularly, but I think we probably can move Acosta on. Now we're in a situation where Allen's basically forcing Carnevale out of the side. Acosta not even on the bench today because he has picked up a little bit of a knock. So the one reason not to do it is when you look down at that bench, there isn't an out-and-out striker down there. Of course, German and Sanchez, either of them could come on and push Allen up front. Leica, I'm sure, could play up front. I think that was one of the things we knew about him from when we signed him. He was an attacking midfielder who could play striker or central midfielder. We just chose to go the direction of central midfield, but he could play up front at a push, but shouldn't ever need to, as long as we can avoid too much in the way of injuries. But yeah, certainly trading in Acosta for a young European striker. If a young Greek striker appeared, that would be amazing. But I think that's hoping a little bit, but a young European striker who can just come in and join the Wonder Kids club, that would be a good piece of business, I think. And I think we should be able to get solid money for Acosta as well. Right, we are going to put I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and make that change. So we're going to push Allen up front. I am going to make Sanchez the inverted winger because it seems to be what he wants to do. So we'll give him the opportunity to do it. Hernandez can come off and Michaelis can come on at the back here to partner with Criado for the first time in a little while. Michaelis has been down this road before. He's 28 years old now. He's been with us a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He knows Criado's loan is up next summer. And in fact, Solorzano's struggling, so we're going to bring Calapitas on as well. He knows Criado's loan is up, and he's got his eye on partnering Hernandez again next year. Jair might have something to say about that, because he's been impressing in the league games. And we've also got the youngster Medina, who signed at the same time as Hernandez, who's just got his Spanish passport. He's out on loan in La Liga at the moment, but now has a Spanish passport. So we'll be recalling him in January, if I remember, and getting him into the first team mix as well, potentially with a view to sending Jair to Spain for 2 years. He's 18. Yes, he's good, and he's good enough to be part of the squad now, but we've got 4 good defenders now. Let's go get him a Spanish passport. Think a little bit more long term. But that is the most comfortable route through to the Champions League knockout rounds we've done in a long time. To the point where I almost forgot it was happening. Right, we'll skip forward a couple of matches. We'll show you CSKA Moscow, and no doubt I'll continue telling you more about my transfer plans for January, because you know I love a transfer. Ev loves a transfer. Well, that's been a little bit more like it in the league. Our young attacking midfielders banging in goals for fun. Leica, now he's fit again, getting a hat-trick here. A little bit worried. There's some big clubs after him. We've got a new contract in discussion with him at the moment. He's done an Unai Dominguez. He's now considered the best central midfielder at the club and the best attacking midfielder at the club. Nikolaj Leica, he's all right, isn't he? He's going to be a world superstar. But also hot on his tails, a year younger, Dalibor Bruman, in his first season with us, still not fully comfortable playing central midfield yet, but he's played 8 games, scored 3 goals, 3 assists, 2 man of the matches and a 7.56. Imagine how good he's going to be when he can play there. They're going to be some good boys. They're not playing today, though. Today, we're going back to what I would consider my first choice team, which is Tennessee in goal, back for Kansarovic, Hernandez, Criado and Solorzano, Milo at the base of the midfield, Dominguez and Duffy ahead of him. And I've decided to bring Sanchez back in. It's been many years since Sanchez has been a nailed-on regular starter. He only ever really did it that 1 year. But he's never left my thoughts. He always scores goals when he's available. And this year, he's back to his best this year. Well, maybe not quite back to his very best. But he's been playing on the right wing all year. We're getting him back in on this left-hand side as the inverted winger. Carnevale gets the nod ahead of ahead of, well, Alan's suspended. Carnivale gets the nod ahead of Acosta to play up front. And Lencina is going to be on that right-hand side. So big call for Claudio Sanchez. Another nail in Acosta's coffin, because Acosta could have very easily come in and gone up front with Carnivale staying out on the left-hand side as a winger when Alan is up front, because we kind of rotate between those two, deciding who's going to be up front and who's going to be out on the wing. I know what I mean. So we are away in Moscow. Looks a little bit chilly, a little bit of snow, a little bit of ice. Hopefully no injuries coming today. We just want to get this job done relatively quickly, relatively easily, and finish on 12 points and call this group a job well done, even though we're going to forget what happened against Liverpool yesterday. We're 1-0 up. Milo with his first goal of the season. It's a scrappy effort from a corner, but, you know, it doesn't matter how they go in, as long as they go in. Two different players sliding in at the ball, but the ball does end up in the back of the net, which is where it was supposed to end up. Now we have another corner. Sanchez in swinger again, and Hernandez hits the crossbar from the corner. And poor old CSKA Moscow and Hertha Berlin, they neither of them were up to this group, were they? They've been absolutely battered every time they've come up against either us or Liverpool. And we were never a million miles away from Liverpool. Although it was challenging against Liverpool, and we've had some very tough first round draws in recent years, I've got to feel coming out of this group relatively confident that we might be able to go one better again this year. We do need the draw to go our way. But if we have a look at some of the teams that have won groups, we know we can beat Bayern Munich. We have before. Inter are a problem and have been in the past. Paris Saint-Germain, I'm sure, would also be a problem. And we can't see who the other half of the draw is. But I don't know. We've got to make some progress this year. There's only so many times we can use the excuse of, yeah, we lost in the first round. The team we lost to went on and did really, really well. Let's have a little bit of luck in the draw this time, please. Lots of backtracking there from, I think that's Criado. But in fact, Kansarovic is 13, isn't he? Wearing his little gloves. Is he? They're all wearing gloves. I mean, I know it's snowing, but still. Get your gloves off, for goodness sake. Lencina's there, short sleeve shirt, no gloves. That's why he's the captain. Duffy, also short sleeves, no gloves. Look at him dancing past his players. Easy from Duffy. Duffy's making a case for playing on that left-hand side himself. Ever since he first arrived on loan all those years ago, theoretically, he's been able to play as a left winger. I don't ever remember doing it. I'm sure I must have done from time to time, but he just kind of slotted into our central midfield and has never left. But that was a nice little mazy run from Duffy and a solid little finish from Christian Criado from the corner from Sanchez. And these Sanchez set pieces are causing all manner of problems for CSKA Moscow. Another in-swinger from Sanchez here. Again, not really dealt with properly. It falls to Carnivale, back with Sanchez. Sanchez, I think, might have won a penalty here, although I suspect it's just outside of the area. The ref is going to go over to the little telly anyway. I'd be surprised if it's given as a penalty, but a free kick's going to be pretty dangerous, because I imagine Sanchez will step over that and do another in-swinger from even closer to the goal. But let's see what the referee has to say. Are we getting a penalty? No penalty. Good. We're not wasting our Champions League luck on penalties that we don't need. It's not going to be Sanchez to take it. It's Lencina who's going to come across and take it. Is he able to shoot from this? We've seen him score from this kind of range before. It's a cross for Carnivale, and his attempt does not end up in the back of the net, but we have yet another corner. It's going to be Milo coming across to take this one. Also in swinging, but not quite as accurate as the ones from Sanchez were a little bit earlier. And Lencina has to commit the foul to stop the CSKA Moscow breakaway. But not going to complain about that. Lencina, I like Lencina. He's my captain for a reason. He's Mr. Apollon, or will be eventually. He's probably not been here long enough yet to be classed as Mr. Apollon, but I'd like to think Jorge Lencina will never leave. I'd like him to be one of my non-EU players who ends up getting a Greek passport one day, many, many years down the line. And just, I've got romantic thoughts about not those kind of romantic thoughts, romantic football thoughts about a future with Jorge Lencina. It's going to be lovely. Right. Don't let performance levels drop. That's stress. Talking of Lencina, we've stressed him out there. And Duffy, two of our best players, stressed out by my half-time tea talk. Half-term tea talk, apparently. Is that a thing? Half-time team talk. There we go, Kev. Words are easy. Hernandez. Why on earth is he the man on the overlap here? And believe it or not much of a crosser. Although that's a beautiful ball forward from Kansarovic. Solazano trying to go past his man. Shades of Kryju there from non-league to legend, but wasn't able to do it quite as well as Kryju always could, and it's left us in a little bit of trouble. But Criado had it covered, and Tennessee isn't going to concede a shot like that from that kind of range unless it's a bit special, and it was not a bit special. Sanchez now in behind here. Can he get the crossover? He does, but it's straight into the hands of their goalkeeper. And I do feel like we probably need another goal or two to hammer our dominance home a little bit. We've had 20 shots to their 4, 55% of the possession, but we've had the same number of clear-cut chances as them, and it's not quite the dominant display that I would have been looking for coming out of this group. Lensina is in here, though, but it is straight at their goalkeeper. It's another clear-cut chance for us, and another clear-cut chance that goes begging, but also another opportunity for a Sanchez in-swinger from the corner, and not quite as dangerous as the first couple were, and Dominguez having to get the tackle in to prevent us being in a little bit of a pickle off the back of it. Right, we are going to make a couple of changes. Duffy is not having a very nice day, so he can come off for Leica, and hopefully he'll come on and just be the game-changing bundle of awesome that we know he can be. Calapitas can come on as well, and you know what? We'll do a triple. We're going to bring on Acosta as well. I keep giving this boy chances. Sooner or later, he's got to start taking them. But all eyes on Leica. I don't think you've seen him, certainly not in central midfield this season. Trust me, he's awesome. And there's Criado with his second of the game, third of the season. It's from another set piece. We've just scored from 3 set pieces in this game. I'm fed up of being called the Greek Tony Pulis, but this isn't doing me any favours, performances like this, is it? But then I guess we're in the snow, in the cold. We're just being efficient. I haven't actually looked what the temperature is. We'll have a look on the next highlight, but I imagine it's pretty chilly. We're a Greek team that's full of South Americans. The fact that we're finding any way to end up with a comfortable victory in these kind of hostile conditions, I can live with. It is. We haven't got a temperature on there. Pause. I want to see what the temperature is. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I want to... Can I... Oh, this game is so frustrating at times. It is -3. That's actually not too bad. That's not as cold as I was expecting it to be, but -3. Still pretty chilly. Why is that over there? We're never going to get these lined up properly again now, are we? Right, Sanchez gives it to Kansarovic on the overlap. Sanchez is in a lot of space if we want to give the ball back to him. Kansarovic elects to cross. It ends up with Calapitas, who slots it into Lensina, who hits the post. That's the 3rd time today we've had a collision with the woodwork, but it doesn't really matter. Who needs to score goals from open play when you can just do your set pieces? It's what we're all about. Right. I suspect, once again, we're not going to find out today who we've got in the next round. And let's just see, when is the draw? Well, no, the draw's after our next game. So it'll be a surprise for you tomorrow. Hopefully, we avoid anyone who's likely to go on and win the thing. Get lost by Bayern Munich. Goodness me. Obviously, he's not going. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.